you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out.
Believe it.
Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
How do you know where to draw the line between toxic positivity and affirming self-talk? That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. Today's video is based on a viewer question from Anandu, who says, can you do a video on negative power of fake and toxic positivity and overdose motivation? Thanks, Anandu, for your question. An emotionally healthy state is one in which you can experience and express a full range of emotions from happy to sad to mad to fearful. If you get stuck on one and eliminate others, you're not whole. Happy and positive thoughts feel good, but it's not the only emotion you have. We naturally want to eliminate negative emotions, and because of this, many people can grow up having trouble owning negative emotions and can feel guilty about having them. This guilt and shame over being negative can lead to toxic positivity. We can define toxic positivity as rejecting or dismissing negative emotions and replacing them with false reassurances. You excessively focus on the good side of things and fail to appreciate the true feeling that the person is experiencing. Here's how toxic positivity can affect the way you think or the way you interact with others. First, here's how it can affect you. You can avoid talking about or even thinking about uncomfortable feelings. You feel guilty when you experience negative emotions like anger. When bad things happen, you only acknowledge the positive aspects of the situation. And you admire people who are always positive and you aspire to be like them. Here are some of the things that you can say to others. No worries. Look on the bright side. It could be much worse. You can tell someone who has suffered a tragedy, everything happens for a reason. Toxic positivity can be damaging on several levels. It damages relationships when you invalidate someone's feelings. It also can make the person that you're speaking with feel like they can't relate to you. If it's someone who needs your emotional support, like a child or a loved one, it can make them feel even worse about themselves when they can't dismiss the negative thoughts like you expect them to. As for the effect on yourself, believing that you're not allowed to think negatively can make you suppress emotions that are real, causing those emotions to show themselves in other ways, like becoming anxious or depressed. Thought stopping is a therapy technique based on the psychological defense mechanism of suppression. With thought stopping, you intentionally cast aside negative thoughts and replace those thoughts with something positive. It turns out that the act of not trying to think about something makes you think about it even more. Also, stuffing negative feelings sends the message that the negative feelings are not okay to have and you need to act as though they don't exist. When you can't stop thinking that way, you feel worse about yourself. So thought stopping has fallen out of favor as a go-to coping strategy. By the way, suppression is different from the defense mechanism of repression. Suppression is intentionally blocking unwanted thoughts. Repression is where you unconsciously block unacceptable thoughts as a coping mechanism. You're not aware of and don't accept the thought that you're blocking. For example, let's say I mistakenly call my husband by his brother's name. I make that slip because I have a repressed romantic desire for his brother and wish he were my husband. I would never admit this or even believe that it's true, because that desire is so wrong to me that my mind blocks it from my awareness until the thoughts pop into my dreams. But I digress. How do you break through this tendency to use excessive positivity either with yourself or with others? Here are 2 approaches. Number 1 is...
I'm sorry. I love Dr. Tracy. She don't play no games. Hey. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in to The Voice of Reason. You know we keep it hot with these topics, man. We're talking about pocket relationships. Now, there's an external definition of it, right? The external definition, pocketing, they say is a dating term, right? That describes when one partner in a relationship avoid introducing their partners to others, even after a long period of dating, right? This can include not mentioning their partner on social media or among friends and family, or avoiding introducing them in person at social gatherings. But it's even deeper than that, because as Dr. Tracy was explaining, there is an internal pocketing that goes on as well within these bubble relationships. And it can become problematic when you can't have difficult conversations, when you avoid the real conversations, the deep talks, the hard talks that need to happen. Man, this is heavy, but we've got somebody on the line who was literally in the middle of making a relationship radio show. You know who it is, Attila from Houston, Texas. Get in here. What are your thoughts?
Okay, the rude part is hilarious because I'm in Texas, which is real close to Louisiana. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I was listening to her clip, and it kind of made me think of like what I was saying before, that your assumptions about people kind of hold your wounds, so to speak. And perhaps this is something we could discover at a later point. But I do think that the assumptions made on the part of the anxious person play a huge role in the reason why dynamics a lot of times do not graduate, so to speak. So if the goal is to become more intimate or more vulnerable with one another, there's that anxiety and that need to, again, kind of control the narrative, and really that strong, lack that kind of looms over the relationship. I do think that without getting a hold or a handle on that, for an avoidant, they're not going to open up to you. I don't know how to say that any nicer. I don't know how to say that any nicer without it sounding rude, but I could say from having played both roles, where I'm in this state of yearning or in this state of lack, versus the other place where I'm scared and don't want to open up and somewhat harsh in my critiques or whatever. On both sides, the commonality is assumptions. When I'm anxious, I'm assuming, like I said, that they don't care, that they probably have someone else, that, quote unquote, I'm the placeholder, whatever. And that may or may not be true, but a lot of times you can make yourself that based on your anxiety. The other side, as the avoidance, I'm assuming if I open up, this person is going to hurt me. So I'm trying to calculate, magnify little things that they do to basically determine the velocity and the magnitude to which this person is going to screw me over. And that has not happened yet. It is all magical thinking on both parts. So I would say both sides have something that they need to do, and that is minimize the assumptions and magnify the love. And that's it.
So, it's easier said than done. How do you minimize the assumption when in fact you're still unhealed? Like you need to heal in order to learn how to minimize the assumption, correct?
Lord, you sound like they'd be like, come healed. Don't go in no relationship unless you heal. That stuff be getting on my nerves.
No, I'm not saying you gotta be fully healed. I'm saying, but if you want to minimize the assumption, that's something you got to get in the gym for, right? You got to get into the psychological gym, right? And kind of work on yourself. How does one become aware that, hey, I'm always pushing these assumptions? Like, I'm the one that's exacerbating the pre-existing conflict here. I'm exacerbating it through assuming that I know what they're doing, I know what they're thinking, I know, how do you get to that point to where you're accountable for that?
I get what you're saying. So for me, I had to detach from the outcome. That's first and foremost. Meaning, so if I'm on the anxious side and I'm hoping to achieve, like I said, the vulnerability from the partner, and I'm really attached to that, detach from that first, right? Then analyze your own behavior. So I think what worked for me, or what has worked, is really trying to understand, what did they say? What did they do? What was the outcome? What did we actually talk about? Like, what was resolved from that? And really sitting there and analyzing that instead of attaching my preconceived notion. So instead of saying, oh, he's just saying that because this. No. What did he actually say? What did he actually do? Like, literally just, I'm talking bare bones. And really talking to people that you trust, too, because they'll tell you, you tripping. You tripping. And then for the avoidance side,
you got to have a solid inner circle that you can go to get that kind of support. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, they'll tell you tripping. And then same thing with the avoidance side, right? Like, they'll be like, okay, I think you're being a little bit too harsh on this. The other side, though, too, is that if you truly are someone who doesn't mean to cause harm, meaning like you're not doing this, and I'm going to repeat it, you're not doing it with the intention of fooling someone or being malicious, it doesn't feel good when you're like avoidant like that. Like, that's not a good feeling. It feels heavy. And so instead of projecting that heaviness on them, look at yourself. So at that point, it's like, I feel heavy. Why do I feel this way? Look at their statements. Was that actually meant to harm you? Was that meant to, mislead you in some type of way? And chances are the answer is no. So you just have to get curious about yourself.
So that's like,
I think we like
that's like discovering the intent. What is the intention behind your action, right?
Of yourself, because we're real good about doing that with other people.
Right.
We'll do our research and our HOE facts real quick instead of actually looking at self. Like, okay, what am I actually doing in this situation? And then the other part, the reason why you really need to detach from outcomes, what I've learned is when I detach from outcomes, I'm also detaching from past situations that didn't work out, because if I'm attached to an outcome, then my mind is automatically going to go to, well, the last time you tried that XYZ. So it's a process. Like, I have to do this with work. Like, that's another thing. This bleeds into every part of your life. You're not just doing this in your relationships. You're doing it with your job. You're probably doing it with your family. Like, it takes a real assessment, and I'm still learning.
I love it. Attila, guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city into this national discussion, call me right now. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Listen, when I come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this most powerful discussion.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Just a few short months ago, California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed 11 felony charges against Diana Turan, an assistant district attorney for Los Angeles County. The charges allege that Turan unlawfully accessed confidential computer data, including police officer files in 2018, and continued to use them after joining the DA's office in 2021. Ironically, Turan, who is now on administrative leave, oversaw the Public Integrity Division, responsible for handling high-profile cases of police misconduct and public corruption, including the charges brought against LA City Council member Kern Price last June. To be sure, the case against Price has raised plenty of eyebrows. Indeed, one noted legal scholar has said publicly, and I quote, "Everything about this prosecution reeks," close quote. Could A.G. Bonta, with aspirations to become California governor, be punishing Turan for her role in D.A. George Gascon's police accountability agenda to curry favor with police unions? Could D.A. Gascon be using the case against Price to showcase his tough stance on crime and political corruption as he vies to retain his seat as D.A.? Honestly, I have no idea, but here's what I know for sure. Curran Price has been elected and re-elected by thousands of voters, mostly black and brown, who stand to be further disenfranchised if this matter is not handled correctly, which is why it matters to us at KBLA Talk 1580. When the prosecutor is being prosecuted, it seems to me that at the very least, there ought to be a thorough, top-to-bottom, independent review of all cases under Diana Turan's purview to ensure that none of these cases have been tainted. Justice and fundamental fairness demand no less, if public trust truly matters. And I hope it does. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your feedback.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Talk about it. And again, like I said, pretending you're not scared isn't courage. So talk about it. Talk about it while you're experiencing it. Don't wait till you're feeling better to talk about it, right? Talk about it now. Tell people what you're going through. And I know this video will probably help a lot of people because a lot of people are struggling right now, and like tremendously. Like if people could see what I see in this world, you would be like, this world is suffering. This world, this planet is suffering. The people that inhabit this planet are suffering. Like there's a great amount of grief happening on this planet right now, and people need support.
Heavy stuff, man. Pocket relationships where we love all the good stuff. Don't have a toxic positivity relationship. What does that mean? We heard the definition of toxic positivity by Dr. Tracy. She's a psychiatrist, and she was breaking it down like, looking past negative things with these little, platitudes. It is what it is. Everything will be okay. Sometimes we do that to get past the difficult moment. But does that make us an avoider? What we avoid builds momentum. Carl Jung said, what you resist persists. Here's the question. Am I an avoider? Do you say things like, I always try to be fine by quickly getting over something bad that happened to me? During my childhood, I grew up in an emotionally disconnected family. I am content with others expecting the least of me. I need my space and, like others, to leave me alone. Right? I do not focus on my own emotions too often. These are signs that you are an avoider. And I'm telling you, even in the communication framework, right? There are 5 different communication styles. One of them is an avoidant communication style. And that avoidant communication style creates conflict, right? Because what you try to put off, like I said, it's only going to get worse, right? And listen to this breakdown of the fearful avoidant. We talked a little bit about dismissive avoidant. We talked a little bit about anxious attachment style. Well, listen to this from Andrea Brandt, PhD, MFT. She says, individuals with a fearful avoidant attachment style have a hard time trusting people, will close themselves off emotionally, terrified of rejection, may be uncomfortable showing affection. Right? These avoidance styles are really just lessons, right? They're just lessons for you to overcome. And when you see these new terminologies like, a pocket relationship, right? They're just putting a name or a term to something that I think sometimes it's very dangerous when you put a term on something. Because once people find out what the term is, they go, I do that, then they identify with that. And it's kind of like, don't identify with it, because all of these attachment styles, maladaptive or even the secure attachment style, right? They can all change. You can start secure and end up dismissive. Just based on, how you process information and how you deal with your partner. So they're not monolithic. They can change. Hey, we've got callers on the line. I'm sorry. I'm in here talking and expounding, but I got to get my people on the line. Listen, we got Detroit in the building. Kenny, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, man? Do you be pocketing stuff?
No, I'm more of I'm the anxious.
Gotcha.
I'm the anxious, so I'm gonna come to you with everything, the whole bag. My question to you though, do you think an avoidant can change though? Because I don't believe so. I think they're borderline, or if not, narcissists, in my opinion, because they always avoid. They've created this way of thought, that becomes their way of life. And I'm just speaking through experience. I'm not gonna call anyone out or say any names, but yeah, through experience, I see that what I've noticed is like once you're stuck in that spirit, it's hard to get out of it, and I can't see it changing.
But listen, Kenny, you my homeboy.
I would love to know what you got to say.
I'm about to tell you, you my homeboy now. I don't know you personally, but you call this show often enough to be called my homeboy, so I'm going to call you my homeboy.
For sure.
We don't want to assume, right? These are clinical terms, bro. And I would suggest, instead of saying just based on my experience, I would suggest you get, some reading under your belt, right? Reading about the different attachment styles. I believe anybody could be a narcissist, whether they're secure or fearful avoidant, dismissive, anxious, preoccupied. Listen, when you do a little research on Dr. Ramani, she's already pushing this notion that 1 in 6 people might be, narcissists, right? And then you have to make the distinction between someone with narcissistic tendencies and someone who has been clinically diagnosed with NPD. They're 2 different things. So you may have had a really tough experience with a particular person who may have a particular attachment style, but that doesn't say everybody with that particular attachment style is prone to narcissism, right? Right. So I just think it's important that you educate yourself on this. There's a great book called Attached. That's a great book to get a deeper understanding of the attachment styles and their particular wounds. I would also say, man, with regards to the narcissist piece, man, there's so many great resources. I'm going to pull one up for you right now, one that I've read. And then once I do this, you got to go get the book, okay?
For sure.
All right, because I don't want you see, and that's the thing. This is what's happening in social media. There's this anecdotal thing, right? Everybody, we're human beings, so everybody can talk about relationships, right? Everybody can talk about relationships. But you want to talk about it from an informed space and not just an experiential one. Of course, we all have experiences, and our experiences matter, but you really need to understand, bro, like, it's way deeper than you think it is, and you can't look at narcissism with the eye test. You really got to get into that person and kind of understand who they are. There's a book here, Narcissism, A Comprehensive Guide to Narcissistic Personality Disorder, Emotional Abuse, and Empowerment, the NPD series, okay? It's by Amanda Campbell. I read this book myself. It's a great book. The book is called Narcissism, A Comprehensive Guide to Narcissistic Personality Disorder, Emotional Abuse, and Empowerment, the NPD series by Amanda Campbell. All right?
I got you.
Yeah, we can't just arbitrarily slap that jacket on anybody, okay?
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's why we get clarity. That's why I'm talking to you about it now.
Yeah, you my brother, man.
I would love to know more.
Yes, man. Hey, and trust me, there is definitely a rabbit hole. When you jump through that study, you're going to see, oh my God, there's so many layers to it. You feel me? So many layers to it. So be mindful of that, all right?
I got it on Amazon right now.
There you go. Hey, guess what you just did, Kenny?
Brought Detroit in the building.
Detroit is in the house. You know what it is. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. And once again, do not forget, sign up to my masterclass, onestream.tv/The Relationship ER. It's going to be fire. Yo, when I come forward, we bouncing all the way over to Baltimore, Maryland. Let's get it.
The deal. My sister's gear now has sex appeal. My brother's my partner and we're getting paper. 3 months later, we run our own caper. My family's happy, everything is new. Now tell me what the am I supposed to do? Money's flowing, everything is fine. Got myself a Uzi and my brother a 9. Business is booming, everything is cool. I'll pull about a G a week. School, a year goes by and I begin to grow.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Black Democrats will get together in Virginia this weekend to brainstorm ways to help Vice President Kamala Harris get elected. A grassroots summit will be held at Hampton High School this Saturday. Among those attending are Congressman Bobby Scott, State Senator Luis Lucas, and State Mamie Locke, who are all black, and other state and local elected leaders. The group is especially hoping to get young people involved in the Harris campaign and will hold a panel on messaging featuring social media influencers, DJs, promoters, and other prominent young voices. The Utah Democratic Party has unanimously endorsed Kamala Harris to become the party's presidential nominee. UDP Chair Dianne Lewis says Harris's experience as a criminal prosecutor makes her the perfect candidate to defeat Donald Trump, who's a convicted felon. Lewis also says Harris has support from young people, Latino and black voters, and women, which could lead her to victory in the 2024 presidential election. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Life moves fast. Your car shouldn't. Keep neighbors safe. Drive like your friends or family live there. Better slow than sorry. Go safely, California, from the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey, LA, it's time to step up and be a climate change hero. Go Metro and help us shape a better future for all Angelinos. From enhancing our diverse communities to preserving our planet, Metro is dedicated to making a positive impact with every ride. Start your journey at metro.net.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation with KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
drive round the block. Recently, police trained black cop that stand on the corner and take gunshot. This type of warfare is it new or a shock? It's black on black crime again non-stop. Black cop, black cop, black cop. Black cop, black cop, black cop.
I am anger, am I not? Anger is not something separate from me. I am greed, envy, anxiety, right? I like to think that is something separate over which I can control. But the actual fact is I am all that. Even the controller is me, right? So there is no division between greed, anger, jealousy, and so on. That is me. That is the observer. Right? Now, so how do I observe, how does one observe this fact that time form is fear? How do you observe it? You understand? How do you look at it? As something separate from you? Or you are that? If you are that, and not separate from you, right? All action ceases, doesn't it? Before I controlled, I suppressed, I tried to rationalize fear. Right? Now, one sees that one is all that.
Now, you know I couldn't have done a show without the homie Krishnamurti. Gosh. We try to rationalize fear. I'm guilty. Man, I'm guilty, man. I am guilty. I have tried to do many things to protect my wounds, and in trying to protect my wounds, you wind up triggering your partner's wounds, and now there's mistrust and dissension, and yeah, man, like what you learn, and hopefully you don't learn this too late, is that control is an illusion. You can't control, these wounds. They won't be controlled. They will find a way to rise to the surface of your consciousness to be dealt with. There's no way to manipulate a wound. The wound is the master manipulator. And it will contort and distort your reality and the way you see things and the assumptions you make. It'll do all types of things to get you to capitulate to its will. The only way to heal a wound is to empathize with it, is to love on it, is to see it, is to hear it, right? Wounds need to be seen and heard as well. We've got callers on the line. Let's get him in here. Dustin, Baltimore, Maryland. Talk to me, man. What are your thoughts?
How you doing tonight, first of all, boss?
I'm alive and well, brother. I'm alive and well. Good to be talking to you, man. What are your thoughts?
Same here. No, this is a deep conversation. I think that we avoid and we negate to tell others certain parts about ourselves because we really fear judgment from the person that we came to respect. And we do that when we do that, we don't remember that the reason that we together is because we found a lot in common, especially like the trauma parts.
Continue.
So we should feel a lot safer in the choice that we made. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think it's easy to get into yourself and to only show what you want to be seen. But I think to be honest is like giving them the gift of trust and then giving yourself the gift of like submission, like letting go. And I think that's what you chose them for. So it's no point in keeping anything to yourself if you're really serious about somebody else. It's going to come out eventually.
Well, in some kind of way, yeah. I mean, it may come out through a trigger being set off, right? You might get triggered.
Or usually.
Yeah, right? Or it may come out because of guilt. You may have this overwhelming sense of guilt and subsequent feeling of remorse, like, oh my God, I can't believe I behaved this way, or I said this, or I kept this, or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're a human being, you're going to feel those feelings, right?
Exactly. Well, that's the whole thing of what I'm saying. If you're really serious about that, the first thing you have to remember is that you can't ask for something you're not willing to reciprocate.
That's big.
If you're going to ask for somebody to be 100 with you, you're going to have to be 1,000 with them.
Okay. I like the way you doubled, you went from 100 to 1,000. I got you. I understand it, brother. I understand. You just have to be comfortable with being you. I think that's the key to the whole thing. If you can learn how to be comfortable with being you, all of you, like, that's something I've struggled with personally. Like, just being comfortable with all of me. Like, and listen, we started the show off with a clip where the lady was saying sometimes you try to, control the narrative, or you try to lie, or you try to, omit certain things because you're really trying to protect the feelings of somebody, and that's a real thing. But the reality of it is that's probably the worst thing you can do.
Exactly.
But you got to live that to understand, the depth of, the consequences that may come from that. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Hey, brother, Dustin, you already know what it is. Guess what you just did?
Baltimore in the building.
Baltimore, Maryland is in the building because of you. If you want to bring your town in this get down, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we going to Sacramento, Sacktown.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't back down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems. to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA Can also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA Can believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's it. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Bye bye. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Hey, hey. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Bye bye. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. You see me coming in the dance with the flipper sensei. Down with the sound called BDP. If you want to join the crew, well, you must see me. You can't sound like Shan or the one Marley. Because Shan and Marley Marlin, my rhyming like the gay. Picking up the mic, man, them don't know what to say. Saying hip hop started out in Queensbridge. Saying lines like that, man, you know them can't live. So tell them again, me come to tell them again. Go on. Tell them again, me come to tell them again. Tell them again, me come to tell
I'm sorry.
them again. Go on. Tell them again, me come to tell them.
Hip hop is different nowadays. I'm sorry. Hip hop is different. This is the hip hop I was raised on. I'm sorry. What is this? 1986? 1986, I believe. That's KRS-One. You know, that's 87. Okay, 87. I know that record came out in 86 for sure. The album dropped in 87. But yo, you talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I mean, KRS-One destroyed somebody in 86 with that record. The bridge is over. Somebody said hip-hop started in Queensbridge, and KRS said, no, the bridge is over. The bridge is over. And for a long time, you know, Queensbridge. But let me just say this, though. When it comes to some of the greatest MCs of all time, I would say Queens has the most. I mean, think about it. 50 Cent, LL Cool J, Run DMC, Nas. We could keep going. Queens is deep, Mob Deep. Like, we can keep. Queens is so deep with stars. It's crazy. All right? It's crazy. Now, here come Andy.
I got to rock with Brooklyn, though.
Brooklyn is deep, too.
I respect Queens.
Biggie.
But Brooklyn?
Jay-Z, but Queens, I mean, they deep.
The lyrics are in Queens. I think the smoothness. I like the Brooklyn smoothness. You know what I mean?
You just like Brooklyn. I see.
I rock with Brooklyn. And then Harlem, they just too flashy.
Harlem is flashy. My goodness. But Queens, they got so many stars, it's not even funny. If you look up all the Queens rappers, you'll be like, wow. Salt and Pepper, I think, is Queens. Like, it's just Queens got it all. Hey, but, you know, for a minute, Queens, you know, got stung. KRS-One came out of Brooklyn with the Bronx, actually. Came out of the Bronx and just stung them with that record. Great record. I wanted to feature KRS-One today because I believe he's definitely in the pantheon of hip-hop gods. We have to acknowledge him. All right. Kiona from Sacramento, you're my final caller. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? I'm listening tonight. Let's go.
I think that once again, we're focused on the wrong thing. I think that oftentimes we sit and think that we're avoidant or think that we're on the wrong path when really we're not listening to the lessons that have been given to us. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, whom Flavor Flav took credence from when he made one of his albums, talked about what is causing our insecurities and making us avoidant because we think that we are wrong in the things that we're feeling that we're doing, and we're not wrong. We're right. However, we've been made to feel like we're wrong and caused to feel insecure. She referenced a book called The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg, and we're not understanding that these people will do whatever it is that they need to do to make us feel insecure. Sorry, I've got a 5-year-old.
No, you're fine. I understand. Yes.
And we will be avoidant because we actually do know what we need to be doing, but we're not doing it because we feel like it's the wrong thing, because we've been made to feel insecure, because certain groups, demographics, have a birth dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing has a lot of good information on what it is that we need to be doing and how we can circumnavigate and also improve ourselves and going forward. And I think that a lot of the avoidance that we do is false, and we can only get past it if we study it and understand that we shouldn't be avoiding anything because we already have the answers.
I love it. Listen, you get to voice your opinion, sweetheart. We love it. And you gonna mention the elder Francis Cress Welsing, girl. You know you got my attention. You mentioned her.
You know my ass is crazy. Quit playing.
Yeah. It's all good. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for tapping in and sharing that bit of information. Hey, I'm open to all information. And like I always say, when it comes to this show, everybody's opinion matters, because I think this is a safe space to be heard. And I know a lot of people are afraid to call in. I get that in public. Like when I meet people, the voice of reason, hey, don't be afraid to call in. Nah, you ain't finna put me on the barbecue. You not finna break me down. I said, you do know you can call in anonymously. Like, you don't have to call in and give, the names of, who you talking about. You can just share. But I would say, man, like, forgiveness work is big, right? Let me show you what I mean by that. Right here. Listen to this question. What role does forgiveness and compassion play in overcoming the pain and betrayal associated with being pocketed in a relationship? How can individuals release resentment and cultivate empathy towards themselves and their partner? And I think within that question, whatever answer you develop is step one to healing, right? Oftentimes, because we're so broken and wounded, as Krishnamurti was talking about in the clip, right? Because we're greedy and selfish and we want what our wounds want, right? So broken that forgiveness becomes this bartering piece if I so choose to stay with you, right? If I so choose to continue to deal with you, now I got this leveraging piece called forgiveness, right? The reality of it is, forgiveness is releasing, but your partner, if they actually love you, wouldn't mind transforming for you. Do you see? So many people will hold on to the mandates and the dictates of their unhealed wounds. Many times they choose the wound and the rules and the standards and the expectations that the wound has created. Many times they will create, they're more loyal to those dictates than they are the person. They're not letting that go because that's become a part of their identity. You got to stop identifying with the wound. The wound is not there to tell you what to do or how to be, right? And sometimes we pocket our feelings because the wound is saying, they can't know that about you. They can't know this. What do you do? Well, why are you sharing that? Right? So we become avoidant in the relationship. And I'm not talking about a particular attachment style. I'm just saying we avoid conflict. We avoid the assumption of loss. Like, oh my God, if I just say this, I might lose them. And ultimately, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because we hold on to this fear-based kind of movement and we wind up losing them anyway. Right? We wind up losing them anyway. And that's a tough pill to swallow, as they say. Andy, what was left on our list there? Because there was something I wanted to hear and I didn't hear it. What else is on the list? Hey, if you don't know any, I don't know about this one. Andy, you know about this one.
Is count to 10.
One of the most creative MCs in the world.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, you will be asleep. 1. I'm a blunt getting smoked and I can't wake up. I'm a blunt getting smoked and I can't wake up. I'm a blunt getting smoked and I can't wake up. I'm a blunt getting smoked and I can't wake up. I'm dreaming about being a blunt.
Okay, what's the next one?
We have just accepted all applications.
Oh my God. Come on.
Will be paid on Friday.
Hey, I'm going to let y'all go on that. The voice of reason. My playlist is my co-host. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I'll see y'all tomorrow. You know it's my Friday. I'll holla back. Deuces.
Be clocking me, but logically they got to be because they were taught that serious poetry will come from Socrates. But that ain't it. In 94, I'll kick the hit. If I was in front of Shakespeare, I'll battle punk and take his shit. I'm not having it. Bust the narrative I come to give. Listen, rap is something you do. Hip-hop is something you live. The difference is kids nowadays, they got the video. Rappers don't need skills to build, so they don't really know. Hear me, yo. I'm 4 times on Arsenio. Got 10